Greetings to all the club's fans. I hope you're having a great day. This is, without a doubt, wonderful news for the team. Yesterday, they played in a doubleheader, and honestly, I don't quite understand why that sequence happened when they could have played on Saturday instead. In any case, they took the field and managed to come out on top against the Toronto Blue Jays in both games. They won the series by taking 2 out of the 3 games. I'd like to highlight a few players, starting with one we'll get to a bit later. But first, let's talk about one of the team's top performers. He just hit his 8th home run of the season and is currently batting .460. With 8 homers and 27 RBIs, he has an on-base percentage of .500, an OPS of 1.270, and an OPS plus of 246. We all remember his tough start last April. He hit just .177 with 4 home runs that month. But the rest of the season was outstanding, finishing with a .322 batting average and a career-high 58 home runs. His start to this season has been impressive, especially coming off such a remarkable year. It's truly rewarding to witness. Let's also look at his numbers since April 27th, 2024. He's batting .364 with 62 home runs and 158 RBIs, and an OPS of 1.258 over 159 plus games. Those are legendary numbers. Could he hit 60 home runs this year? Time will tell. He's already at 8, and if he replicates his performance from May to September of last year, he could absolutely get there. With that .400 plus average and 8 home runs already, it's a phenomenal start, and he's chasing his 3rd MVP award. Now, here's an interesting stat I can't visually show, but it's worth mentioning. Since last September, he's been locked in on reaching 60 home runs. Right now, he's at 8 with a batting average over .400. It's incredible to watch. I'm thoroughly enjoying his exceptional early performance. Again, the focus is on that 3rd MVP. Here's a stat that deserves attention. Only a few players in history have had 450 home run seasons. Legends like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Babe Ruth, and Barry Bonds are not all on that list. He already has 3 such seasons. If he hits 50 again this year, he'll join Ruth, McGwire, and Sosa as the only players with 4. And if he does it this year, next year, or at any point later, he could become the first with 550 homer seasons. Once again, what a fantastic start he's having. It's a joy to witness. Now let's shift to another player whose name came up again, and he delivered. He pitched 6 innings against Toronto in the first game of the doubleheader, giving up 1 earned run, walking 2, and striking out 3. This season, he's 5-0 with a 1.43 ERA over 37 innings and 33 strikeouts to show just how dominant he's been. Before yesterday's game, his ERA was 1.42. After the game, it rose just slightly to 1.43. That speaks volumes about how excellent he's been. Will he maintain this level? Probably not, but he could finish the season with an ERA in the mid-2s. So far, this signing has been a success. He's been phenomenal. Now, back to the player we talked about last week. Some of you may recall I've suggested he should be sent down to work on his hitting. Defensively, he's fantastic. That's not in question. But offensively, he struggled. It seems he got the message, because this past weekend, he raised his batting average by 26 points. His on-base plus slugging jumped from .696 to 770. He went 4 for 7 this weekend, including a home run and a double on Sunday. He really needed that. Now, the challenge is to keep the momentum going. Last weekend, this player boosted his batting average by 26 points. His OPS climbed from .696 to 778. He went 4 for 7 overall. And on Sunday, he hit a home run and a double, something he absolutely needed. Maintaining that level is key. The season started well, but then came a steep decline. At one point, he had just 7 hits and 54 at-bats, which was very disappointing. There was even talk of sending him to AAA to work on things. Given how far below expectations he was performing, games like this are essential for his recovery. He deserves credit for Sunday's performance, even if it hasn't gotten much attention. 4 for 7 with a homer and a double, raising his OPS to 170. Another player is batting .2 to 78 with a .351 on base percentage and a 102 OPS plus. He's competing for the third base job in a bit of a rotation with another player. One of them has been getting more playing time and is making the most of it, especially in terms of batting average. While the power isn't showing yet, that batting average is solid, and his defense at third base has been reliable. He started the season well. Once another player returns from injury, it's expected he'll retake the spot, but both players should still see at-bats. They've earned them. There's also a young rookie worth keeping an eye on. He's faced some criticism from fans, largely due to high expectations. He's batting .238 with 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. Ideally, you'd want an OPS of at least .710. Currently, he has a 126 OPS and a 109 OPS plus. If he can maintain that level throughout his rookie year, that would be quite impressive. Of course, fans want more. But if he can stay near that .700 OPS mark, he's on track for a strong first season. A former player had a similar OPS around .730 as a rookie. If this young talent can match that while playing regularly, he could hit between 15 and 20 home runs. Remember, he's still a rookie. He needs time to grow, and so far, he's off to a solid start. Now, that's the good news. But we also need to talk about something less positive, though potentially constructive. One player has been struggling. This year, with an ERA over 11 and very few saves, it just hasn't been a good season for him. The decision to remove him from the closer role was the right one. There was no other choice. Some criticism arose over a trade that involved a key player, but we have to look at the moves that did benefit the team. One pitcher acquired in that trade has been performing incredibly well with a very low ERA in his innings pitched. Another player picked up off waivers has yet to allow an earned run, and a third arm has shown a solid ERA and effective performances in his outings. It's important to recognize what these additions have contributed. Focusing only on the negatives isn't helpful. It's time to appreciate the positives and recognize what's working. This helps create a healthier mindset for fans. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Michael King, a former promising pitcher for the New York Yankees, has recently expressed regret over his decision to leave the team. A talented right-handed pitcher, King was once considered one of the top prospects in the Yankees system, earning praise for his electric stuff and versatility. However, after a series of injuries and a lack of consistent opportunity in New York, King ultimately found himself making a change in his career path that he now looks back on with some regret. King was drafted by the Yankees in 2016 and quickly made his way through the farm system. His potential was clear, showcasing a fastball with velocity and a slider that could dominate hitters. Over time, he transitioned from a starting pitcher to a more flexible bullpen option, which gave him the chance to impact games in various roles. However, despite his potential, his journey with the Yankees was marred by setbacks, including injuries that limited his time on the field. In an interview, King admitted that at the time, he felt his future with the Yankees was uncertain, particularly after the team made several moves to bolster their pitching staff. King, whose career seemed to be at a crossroads, felt the need to explore a new opportunity elsewhere. He joined a different franchise with hopes of earning a consistent spot in the rotation and proving his worth on the mound. But looking back, now King acknowledges that he may have rushed into that decision. The Yankees, a team with a rich history and a championship pedigree, are always a competitive force in Major League Baseball. Leaving the organization, especially during a time when the Yankees were in a win-now mode, was a tough choice. King has since reflected on how things might have played out differently if he had stayed and waited for another opportunity to prove himself in the Bronx. The regret is not only about the move itself, but also about the relationships he left behind. The Yankees clubhouse was a place where King developed bonds with teammates, coaches, and staff. Being part of such a storied franchise was something he had always dreamed of, and the chance to contribute to their success was something he thought would be a defining part of his career. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, King realizes the value of that experience and the unique position he had with the Yankees. While he is still working hard to carve out his place with his new team, King's reflections on his time in New York highlight the complexities of professional sports. The pressure to perform, the desire for more playing time, and the uncertainty of one's future can sometimes cloud judgment. However, King is committed to making the most of the opportunities ahead, even as he carries the lessons learned from his Yankees days with him. Looking forward, King remains determined to make his mark in Major League Baseball. While he might regret his decision to leave the Yankees, it has only fueled his desire to succeed and prove that he has what it takes to thrive at the highest level. In the ever-changing world of professional sports, it's clear that King's journey is far from over, and he'll continue working hard to achieve his ultimate goals. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.